A bipartisan coalition of legislative leaders joined forces with education advocates to urge the legislatures to support full funding for textbooks at a press conference held on March 23rd at the Texas Capitol.
Texas education advocates from every philosophical and partisan perspective are growing increasingly concerned that the current budget does not include funding for instructional materials. Instead, this vital element of our education process is only included as a contingency rider. We think this is a mistake that should be immediately corrected. And according to the results of a statewide poll, which is being released here today, so do an overwhelming majority of Texans. An amazing 86% of Texas voters say they support the current state constitutional requirement that every public school student in Texas should have instructional materials provided directly by the state of Texas. This support cuts across all party and demographic lines. There is no reason for the Texas Legislature to go against this overwhelming public sentiment.
We have to be willing to make a commitment to invest in our schools and our students, and then follow through with that commitment. We cannot continue to demand more of our schools in the form of any accountability system while providing less in the way of resources to meet those standards, and that means textbooks. It is almost unreasonable to expect students and their teachers to be able to have good outcomes when they're using textbooks that are 12 to 14 years old for those English language learners. They do not include the current curriculum alignment or the current TEKS. We should utilize whatever resources we have and make this as a priority.
We have our duty, and that is something that we, whether we're liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, independent, our children are the most important issue we have in this state. And I think we as legislators stand before you this morning agreeing on that.
I have school-age children, and anyone who's tried to do homework with a child knows that how good a textbook has to be able to learn it so you can teach them. It's important that they have these materials now, not in the future.
I'm in total support of the legislation, and hopefully we can get the communities and other leaders to rally around us and make sure that this does not happen. I mean, it's so archaic, it's not even, it doesn't even sound reasonable to talk about not funding our school books.
I represent the largest child advocacy association in the state of Texas with more than 600,000 members. I'm a dad, and I'm sure we all remember in first grade when we were issued that first textbook. Textbooks are a key to learning, and I call on the legislator to fully fund textbooks and all instructional materials.
It's time for us to step up. Textbooks must be funded, not if or maybe, but they must always be funded. It must be our top priority.
As goes Texas, so goes the nation. We have in the recent past seen difficulty paying for the textbooks, but what else other than reading is known by the parents of this state as being a basic right for their kids to be able to learn.
With the group we have here today, it's obvious that the funding of textbooks is a very important issue to this state and to these members and these people standing behind me.